Hi, it's Mr. Walker. I'm going to go ahead and work through some of these problems right here. So, number one, it says draw a dilation of the figure using the given scale factor. And we're going to look at this point right here. That point right there, I'm going to pull off the coordinates of that point. It's 1, 1. So the coordinates of that point right there are 1, 1. And I'm dilating by 2, where you have k equals 2. This is called the scale factor. I'm going to dilate by this 2. And all I do is I take each of these numbers and multiply them by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. And this one right here times 2 is 2. So the answer to number 1 is 2, 2. And you would go down here and you would just put your answer in this block right here. 2, 2. Okay. For number 2, you do the same thing, except it's a different point. It's going to be this point right here. I'm going to pull off the coordinates of that point. It's 1, 2. I go down 1, so it's 2, negative 1. I went right 2, down 1. That's going to be 2, negative 1. Again, it is a scale factor of 2, so I'm going to take each of these numbers and I'm going to multiply by 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and negative 1. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And that is the answer to number 2. 4, negative 2, and you just come over here and put in that answer. 4, negative 2. For number 3, we're dealing with this point here. I'm going to pull off the coordinates. I go left 2, and I don't go up or down. I just go left 2. So the coordinates of that point are negative 2, 0. Dilating by a factor of 2. So again, I take each of these numbers and multiply by 2. Negative 2 times 2, that's going to be negative 4. And 0 times 2, that's going to be 0. So the answer number 3 is negative 4, 0. And you just put that right here. Negative 4, 0. Okay. And we'll move over to number 4. Number 4, I'm dealing with this point. So I'm going to pull off the coordinates of that point. That is 0. And then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So the coordinates of that point are 0, 4. And it's a scale factor of 1/4. So I'm going to take each of these numbers and I'm going to multiply it by 1/4. So 0 times 1/4 is just 0. 0 times anything is 0. And 4 times 1/4, well, that's basically just 4 divided by 4, which is 1. So your answer to number 4 is 0, 1. And you just come over here and put 0, 1. Okay, so 5, you're doing the exact same thing. I'll go ahead and speed up the process a little bit so we can work through this entire sheet. 5, my coordinates are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, negative 4. I'm going to take each of these and multiply it by 1/4. 4 times 1/4 is 1. -4 times 1/4 is -1. So that's the answer to number 4, 1, -1. Actually, that's the answer to number 5. I'm sorry, that is number 5. It's going to be 1, -1. Yep. Okay. Number 6, the coordinates are, I'm going left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going down, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be -4, 4. I'm going to multiply each of those numbers by 1/4. So -4 times 1/4 is just going to be -1, and 4 times 1/4 is going to be 1. The answer to number 6 is -1, 1. And I'm sorry, that's a negative. So it's -4, -4. So it's going to be -1, -1. Okay, so the answer to number 6 is -1, -1. We'll continue on with 8. And let's see, 8, we are at, I think it's this point. Let me see. Let me look at number 8 real quick. 8. Point B. So we're looking at this point right here. I'm going to get the coordinates of that point. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the coordinates of that point are 4, 8. The scale factor is 1/2. So I'm going to take each of these numbers and multiply it by 1/2. So 4 times 1/2 is just 2. 8 times 1/2 is 4. That's the answer to number 8 is 2, 4. So you would just go over onto the other page and put 2, 4 into the answer block for number 8. Number 9. We're looking at this point right here. The coordinates of that point are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 6, 4. And again, the scale factor is 1/2, so I'm going to multiply each of these numbers by 1/2. 6 times 1/2 is 3. 2 times 1/2 is 2. And that is the answer to number 9, 3, 2. For 10, we're looking at this point right here. I'm going to go ahead and get the coordinates. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the coordinates are 6, 6. I'm going to multiply each of those numbers by 1/2. 6 times 1/2 is 3. The other 6 times 1/2 is 3. So the answer to number 10 is 3, 3. Okay. Let's move over to 11, which is right over here. Looking at this point, I'm going to get the coordinates of that point. I go over 1, 2, and I don't go up or down. So the coordinates of that point are 2, 0. And the scale factor is 1.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of these numbers right here, 2 and 0, I'm going to multiply them by 1.5. Okay? So I'm going to take a 2 times 1.5. You can put that in the calculator. You just go 2 times 1.5 is just 1.5. 2 times 1.5 is 3. And 0 times 1.5, well, that's just 0. So the answer to number 11 is 3, 0. 3, 0. Let's go over to number 12. Oops, sorry about that. Number 12 is right here. I'm going to pull off the coordinates. That is 0. I go down 2, so that's 0, negative 2. Then I'm going to take each of these numbers and multiply by 1.5. 0 times 1.5, well, that's just 0. And then I have negative 2 times 1.5, and I can just put that in a calculator. It'd be negative 2 times 1.5, which is going to be negative 3. Okay, so the answer to number 12 is negative 0, negative 3. Move over to number 13. 13, we're right here. Coordinates of that point are 1, 2, so that's negative 2. Up 1, negative 2, 1. And we're going to multiply each of those numbers by 1.5. Negative 2 times 1.5 is going to be negative 3. And 1 times 1.5, that's just going to be 1.5. Okay. You can also write that as negative 3, 1.5. And that's the answer to 13. Negative 3, 1.5. And finally, we got number 14. 14 is right here. I'm going to pull off the coordinates. 1, I go up 2, so that's 1, 2. I'm going to multiply each of those numbers by 1.5. 1 times 1.5 is just 1.5, and I can write that as 1.5. 2 times 1.5 is just going to be 3. So the answer to number 14 is 1.5, 3. Okay, so that was problems 1 through 14. In my next video, I will work problems 15 through 24. All right, thank you.